That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail.
You can't stop me.
I'm going to win.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
I won't quit.
I'll just keep getting stronger.
Stronger?
Stronger.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to intro this. I think that essentially we created the pump, which is a rebrand of a rebrand. And we're not even releasing this as a podcast. This is a straight up video.
Yeah.
Okay. So our thought process, for anyone listening who's already fucking kind of checked out, is we're basically going to answer questions that we get on our Instagram or Facebook, and then probably go over memes, because we got a bunch of questions and they were basically just making fun of us. So it's going to be a natural progression.
Which actually fits perfectly with our rebranding, because this is just more shit talking and our
because like
talking us.
Exactly. And memes are funny. It was one of those things where it's like, what's the culture of lifting? And a lot of it has to do with people talking shit. Yeah, we'll answer questions.
Yeah.
Get them. But like our friends who lift also make fun of us for not lifting. And it's kind of this perpetuating cycle of no one lifts, but that's how you know you lift. Would that be?
Yeah, and I think too, like when we were first talking, like I remember Ben was like, he's like, you know, are you guys getting to like kind of picking on people? And we're like, oh yeah, it sounds like we're just assholes. I mean, we are assholes, but like that's part of the culture is like we're making fun of our friends. Like the people we're making fun of we're making fun of ourselves. Like because there's a bunch of dudes out there that look at us and they're like, you guys don't fucking lift. So it's just kind of perpetual.
There's a difference.
Cycle. Yeah.
It's like no one goes to anyone and be like, yeah, bro, you don't lift. Like, that's not how it happens.
No.
It's kind of like we talk about it with our friends who we say don't lift, and then we say that dude definitely doesn't lift. And there is a different connotation, and you only know if you know. But when you know, you definitely know. And it's like really fucked up, and that makes us all sound like meatheads and idiots.
And we are.
Logic there.
Yeah, I mean, there's logic, but we are meatheads and idiots, and that's why we enjoy this.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. So I don't even know how we want to do this. So like this, I guess this is a comedy skit, because it's like we have to create content in one way or another, and this is one of our ideas. And we're probably just going to do it because at the end of the day, we've never really cared what anyone thinks. So it is what it is. I'm going to try to do this. So anyone who's watching and is still watching, we're going to pull up a bunch of shit, and we're going to talk shit, and we're going to see kind of if we have any informative questions. I know you got some. None of mine were informative, so we'll probably start with mine. But mine's like super easy to do. This is Zoom, by the way. Hopefully it works. Oh yeah, you can see. Let's just roll through it.
Sweet, that's cool. I don't know if I'll be able to do that too, but
no, you won't be able to do it. I practiced, so it's just like what's this? Lucas's _ flock. This is a dude at Hype, so everyone's getting called out. So you fucking post a question, getting called out. He actually interned at the Florida Panthers, but he works with Pat Davidson and everyone, Marcos, everyone over at Hype. So he said, talk about culture. I think that was his attempt at a serious question. And that's a really stupid question for someone who has a degree, because that's not a question. Like, we need to talk about culture. I think it's like a beak at us because we're not cultured. But the funny thing is, you're actually very cultured. I would say I'm not, but you've basically seen it all. So,
but Lucas, I mean, he does he smoke? Is he one of those like European dudes that lifts and like Polish? Is he Polish? I don't know. I live in like a Polish neighborhood. Like,
he looks like
dudes lift and smoke.
Yeah, he looks like the dude off Rocky, like the Russian dude, except for like way smaller, and like has that stupid ass look on his face. But he has a degree, so like
he's super like, smart. Just looks dumb.
He just looks dumb.
Yeah.
This is the best because they can't say anything back.
No.
But they did say it because his next one, so he has a voice here. Because this is of the vlog, when did you peak? High school. And that's actually a serious question, probably. At least it's a question. But like I didn't peak in high. I probably peaked, honestly, like at 28.
28?
Well, I'm probably not peaked, but it's like I'm just so much smarter now that it's almost made me not strong.
Yeah, like a serious answer. So like for me, this is tough, right? Because
you didn't start lifting till 30.
No, but like in my early 20s, I was a musician and a bartender, and like had long hair and yeah, like most dudes, I think would probably like they're the ideal that everyone wants to reach. I hit probably 22.
Yeah.
But honestly, my life was garbage. I had no money. I got to do cool stuff, but like, yeah, it wasn't fun. I have a lot more fun now. Going to bed at 9:30.
I guess that depending on what you're peaking at, I'm assuming he means lifting. You definitely peaked on the cool factor, like
early. But yeah, you have to peak in the cool factor because if you live past 25, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah, I would say I'm cooler now than I was back then, so I'm still growing.
Oh yeah,
because I got like tattoos and the hairdo and all that stuff like later, and I got bigger. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I was tiny. I was a $143.
Yeah. You're still so we haven't peaked yet.
No, we haven't
how
peaked,
we define
which is right.
Fuck you.
For me, it's like 20 years later.
Trying to scroll over on my computer, and it's actually my phone. The next question. Oh no.
No.
There we go. These are actually our two boys. It's awesome because we asked questions trying to like do something, and like everyone just made fun of us. And I also asked it really poorly. Like I did it in the small corners. So, like obviously no one's going to ask us for advice. But compound performance _ probably because his name was taken. That's Kyle Dobbs. For anyone who doesn't know, he's been on the podcast before, the first iteration. But asshole, as usual. Why does Dean pull his shorts up taint when he trains? I would assume he means like pulls them up to my taint, which if anyone who doesn't know, it's like the spot, like
perineum
legs underneath
you. You guys don't have like ads for medicine up there, do you?
No, like only during daytime TV, but they're like not that many. Like,
so there's a drug out here. And it's this woman, and it's this commercial, and she's like a marching band leader, and I think it's for like diabetes or something. But like at the end of the commercial, they're talking about side effects, and they're like, it may cause an infection in your perineum. So your perineum is your fucking taint. Like, so this medicine for diabetes somehow causes your taint to be. I don't even know how your taint is a different part of your body to get infected in other places, but somehow this is one of the side effects.
Can you imagine being that person that like had to like report that, and they're like, "Hey, we need pictures because like we need like we're not putting this on the commercial unless you like give us some examples." It's like I don't think that's from the drugs, but like we have to go with it.
We got to put it on the commercial either way.
Like this is definitely I can't even believe to put that on there. Like they must have just been like fuck, like this fucking asshole Chad is saying this is from the drugs, and it's definitely not. But like, what do we do?
Or on top of that, or it was just like the ad company was like, "Hey, do you think we can somehow slip taint into this?" They're like, no way. We got to go with perineum. No one knows what a perineum is. Like, we'll just fucking put it in there.
It's definitely like it'd be funny. Like to be truthful, like Kyle and Matt, the next one, they would be those people if they worked at the company. They would slowly like because to them it would be funny, but they wouldn't give a shit about the consequences because no one would know that. And they would just be laughing and giggling because they're immature assholes. And the real answer is because I don't like stuff touching my knees. Had knee surgery, and like I don't like shit touching my knees. And I wear short shorts, so it's actually not very logical because it doesn't touch my knees anyways. But if I roll it up even more, there's no fucking chance. And like that's actually what I think. I know that's not very logical, but it's like a protective mechanism. Like it's only on my one leg too. Like they don't actually notice that. It's only on my left leg. But I only show that.
Yeah. You always do the grundle shot, but I won't wear a shirt while I take a dump because I'm afraid I'm going to take a shit. I'll shit on it. Also illogical. But like I said, ever since I'm a little kid, like I can't wear a shirt if I'm in the bathroom. Like it's like I'm afraid that somehow it's going to slip down and I'll shit on it, and then my shirt's ruined.
I do that too, but it's not for the same reason. Like I just like I get hot.
Well, that too. That too.
But I'm sure a lot of people like relate to that. Thanks, Kyle.
No, I've got like I have legitimate like serious OCD. I always have, and like that's one of the things I didn't realize when I was a little kid that's a weird thing. But yeah, that was definitely one of my fears. That and finding a dead person on a toilet when I opened the bathroom door.
Was that illogical or was that happening?
No, it's never happened in my life. I've never heard of it happening to anyone else. But like if I go into a bathroom, I'm always like kind of closing my eyes. I'm always afraid like some old person's going to have died on the toilet, and I open up a public bathroom and and I'm like always ready to just see like a corpse on there.
That really?
Yeah.
That's actually
I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you can unpack that here, or like we talk about off air, but like something happened, dude. Like, that's, you want to talk about like fixing people's problems that you shouldn't unpack. Like, that's one.
That's why you just leave it alone, because
like anyone who coaches
come
people
from a weird place.
Anyone who coaches people, like, don't unpack things you don't want to know the answer to, because that's a can of worms that it could go in multiple directions, and it could just be like you could have just saw something on TV. It could have been as simple as that.
Yeah. Potentially.
Probably that. It's probably like, I don't know, what do they have? You're 40. What do they have? Did your parents like watch movies with you and shit young, like bad R-rated movies?
No, you didn't have our, like we do. We got a VHS player when I was like 8. Like there wasn't, you didn't watch, like you watched UHF. Like I could get like, you had to get up and turn the channels. I mean, I'm actually that point of age. Like there wasn't, I mean, I knew some kids with cable, but we didn't have cable when we were growing up. That was rich kids.
The last one here is, why do you hate on people who talk about lifting and don't like it when you, I'm sure like all capitals means like he's talking about me, don't even lift. And this kind of comes back to like, fuck you, Matt. He knows what we're trying to do with this podcast. So like he's a confidant, and he would use that information to then make fun of me, which is an asshole. Like the reason why we talk about people who don't lift is because we're trying to impart the conundrum of people understanding that if you don't lift, you don't need to be listening to this podcast. No, you should be listening to this podcast because you don't actually lift. And we're going to say you don't lift to anyone who's our boys, but we're not going to actually tell the person who needs to be listening to it that thing. It's like, I don't know, what's that paradoxical statement?
Yeah. And also, yeah. And well, actually, I was going to say we could kind of talk shit on Dominic, but like honestly, he probably lifts.
Well,
more than most.
He doesn't lift. Like in most cases, like people who like the judgment rating of people who lift is generally their upper body.
Yeah,
like, it's not,
it's pretty strong bench, right?
Yeah, like I get it. Like I get made fun of. I don't lift because I don't have legs, and that's fine. But like, look at here. Like, are my legs on the fucking camera?
No.
Do people look at your legs? No, they don't. Because if you look at someone's legs and like that's what you're focusing on, you're gonna inevitably look at their dick. And like that's, I mean, it's cool to look at people's dicks, but it's also not to catch you. And so like it just inadvertently puts that stigma on you. So no one cares about legs, and like no one likes legs.
Just do calves.
The people who like legs are the people who have legs, which is like in terms of like the general people who lift, that they're a small, minute portion of that.
They really are. Yeah, it's like the people that are just like born with it.
Yeah.
Or people like fucking Ben.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't lift and still has huge quads.
Yeah, like it's genetics. It's like penis size. It's like people who rag on people who have small dicks, they didn't really have a problem. Like you're lifting.
So we're gonna be rebranding to like making fun of people with small dicks next.
Well, this is we ripped the Band-Aid off. Like the other podcast is
we've now lost all credibility in the industry, which is good.
Well, but the thing is, saying that out loud, like truthfully, I don't think there's many people going to disagree with that. Like there's gonna be, the people who disagree are going to be the people with legs. And again, they're the small portion of the people who actually lift, because like you go to gym, everyone's lifting upper body.
Yeah. And
they all look pretty jacked because it doesn't matter.
Which is almost more irritating, like that how much time I spend on legs and I don't have any legs.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't matter. Because
I've never puked from doing arm. I take that back. I did puke once from doing arms. So.
I've only puked once from doing legs.
I used to puke. I used to eat I had there was a few weeks where I would do Saturday leg sessions, and that one was always worse because I would superset leg press with walking lunges.
Yeah.
And I decided to eat leftover pasta, like in meat sauce, bulking mode, and just puked. Actually, no, I puked every Saturday session, but that one was the worst, the meat sauce. And people would be like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It was because I worked hard. I don't know. I just puked."
Well, that's essentially the direction we're taking. This is we both understand, like that's stupid, but I think you take like the little bit of the volume talks and the frequency talks and all this other stuff, and like you have to like, where does the stupid factor go into that? Because like even if you look at Isratel's posts and stuff and him lifting, like fucking what's his name, Feather is laying
Jared,
down
Jesus,
on the ground
every time
they're puking. Like that's
puking all the time.
like,
And those dudes like, and that's the thing is like everyone thinks that effort has to look like throwing weight around with no control. Like those dudes are all like, and I'm not gonna like, my lifting definitely doesn't look a lot like theirs in a lot of ways. Like there's, you know, I don't have that excessive range of motion, especially in like a lot of the pressing movements. But those dudes, everything's super controlled. Like they go close to failure, but they don't ever break form. And you can get there like that and still go to that puking, like shaking, cramping, dying phase.
I don't think that the MEV argument, I don't think that most people have the ability to get there. No. Like I think when I look at what they're doing, like they're pushing that spectrum. It's like it doesn't only work. It works for everyone, but in terms of like people who lift, like
yeah, like well, I think that's what I really loved about doing DC training, because it's all rest pause stuff. So you kind of push right to failure, and now you can't really go to failure because if you don't have a training partner, right, you're not, because his whole thing is like go to like eccentric failure, so you can't even press it up. Your training partner takes it off, you rest. So I'm still staying like 1 to 2 reps in reserve, right? But then pushing the next 2 sets with just short rest, like you figure that out. And then the worst was always I would do a top set of whatever leg was, whether it be like hack squat or safety bar squat or whatever, and then take 20% off and do a 20 rep set. And there's no fake. I mean, like my whole thing with 20 rep sets now is I know that I should want to quit. That when I first want to quit should be like rep 8. Yeah. And then like rep 13, I should be like, there's no way I can get another rep, and I'll get to 20. Like that's how you know how far off you are.
The crazy thing is, like, unless you experience that, like I've done that. Even like I don't do that because I train alone. But like when we were in Costa Rica and we're doing the leg press, like the bands,
yeah.
Like I was like not trying, and I was like kind of like, okay, this is hard, and was like we're doing sets of 8, and then I did my last one where everyone's like screaming, and I did
we're
16 or 17, and I was like, oh damn, like I still don't try, and like I think I lift, and I still don't try that hard.
Yeah. And like because you don't know until you're around the boys and pushing, and like that's the hardest part about lifting alone, I think, is it actually probably is good for longevity for me, because like I was saying, so I just started a new phase, a new meso with Ryan, and it's the same meso because like I just started feeling like I got in the groove in the last 4 weeks, and I was like, hey, like let's just keep this going, because I'm gonna fucking PR the shit out of like my bench, and like that'll be awesome. And I think he's already gotten to know me well enough. He's like, okay, cool. He's like, we're going to do tempo of like, of 3 second eccentric, 3 second pause and up. He knows that I'll just hurt myself if we let it keep ramping up in intensity. But he's like, threw that in. And I'm like, oh, like I'm just getting crushed this week with like what's seemingly lightweight, but all of a sudden, and the worst is like 3 second concentric. Like I can deal with eccentrics, but not exploding in the concentric is like fucking weird. Like I was doing like close grip dumbbell bench today, and it was like it wrecked me with like 60-pound dumbbells.
Well, I think that's the difference. Like when you kind of look at, I don't know, we talked about with Jordan, but like the metric based stuff and like lifting lighter loads over time and stuff. There's a difference between what you're doing and someone who's not pushing.
Yeah.
People will like use that argument to then not push as hard in their metrics, but it's like when you add tempo to something, and like legit tempo, and like you do layer on real intensity to it, it kind of does. You can grow and do that, but you can also use that as an excuse and say, well, I'm doing that. It's like, no, it's not the same fucking thing.
Yeah. No, like it's like I'm still like, because I still like. I love because Ryan puts like reduce weight by like 10 to 15%, knowing that I'm just going to go in there and use the same weight and try and do a tempo.
We were doing like hook. So like Ryan programs just because it's easy and Ryan's fucking smart. We're doing like one of my programming is like hook lying bench flat. Like, so basically it's like on a bench and I'm flat back and trying to maintain abs and my pelvis tuck, whatever. Fucking, it's supposed to be a reduced load, like position thing. Like, I didn't do that. Like, I was doing like 295 by the end of it for like sets of like, I want to say like 6 or 7 or 8, whatever. And like, you shouldn't be able to do more than 225. And I'm like, wow, like I didn't hold my back. I was just on the bench.
Right. My feet were just up at that point.
Yeah. Like
which is still removing stability, and you're not pushing off your feet in the arch. So you're still doing something. But
it was enough to like feel like, so the whole point of it is like, essentially like, I'll put myself in a better position. My shoulder still felt good. It felt way better when I used
my shoulders. My shoulders the best. Now, I honestly attribute a lot to that, to not doing jiu-jitsu for 4 months. But my shoulders feel great. Like, it's crazy, and like, you know, it's always easy to blame lifting because that hurts it more. But it's like, I realize when you shit just cranked on, makes it way worse.
Well, I guess that's the argument for this whole position. I don't know. We don't even need to talk about it, but like that whole position talking, a lot of it has to do with, I want to say like feeling it, but I would say a lot of it has to do with reduced load, allowing you to go through ranges of motion because it's not as fucking hard. But the goal for that isn't like and we're talking about load intensity and stuff. The goal isn't to do less weight and not get bigger. The goal is to essentially fix this thing so you can lift more weight. But if you stay fucking like fixing land your whole life, like then you'll look like someone who doesn't lift.
And like, I'm gonna say this and probably get like roasted by people, but I don't really care. Like, I'd rather be hurt and lifting than feel good and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, if, you know, if my shoulder feels shitty, but like I'm at least pushing some weight and feeling like I'm doing something, like, rather than feel great and be like doing whatever, some like fucking banded pull aparts or whatever, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, that doesn't sound like
I don't think any big people aren't hurt. Like, I actually had that same thought the other day. I'm like looking through people's Instagram. I'm like, because you know, you can kind of see nuances and forms. Like, oh, that deadlift. Oh yeah. I'm gonna like, and it's one of my buddies, so I'll text him and be like, yeah, like, how does that feel? Like, complete dog shit. Like, can you actually help me? And he was like, well, what did you see in that? I'm like, well, you got your back's hurting because you got leaned a little bit forward. But visibly, if you didn't know a lot of shit, like, that looks good, that dude's jacked. But the people who do things quote unquote perfect, generally they're just not that big. I think you have to do things shitty to lift heavy weights because that's not a normal thing to do. Like, I know that
unless you're young and you're coming up, like, again, I think like a guy like Jared Feather, who like was just getting like coached so well from such a young age that like didn't develop bad habits and has great genetics. But like, you know, like that dude, like, he was like, his lifting is very mechanical, very like structured, and just built it. And who knows? Maybe when he was 16, he was doing dumb shit. I don't know. Like for me, it was just like dumb shit is my fallback position.
Yeah, I think if so, that's another thing too. It's like we're talking to a group of people that have gone through the dumb shit phase, and now they're at the second phase, and they're fucked, or like they want to get bigger or whatever. But I think if you layered on, if your adaptation to movement and weight was basically just fucking reading magazines and lifting like you saw on TV, like there's a large possibility you got big lifting and we'll call it a dysfunctional pattern, but I don't think you can fix that fully. I think like in some form or fashion, that's the reason for why you look the way you look. And it's going to take years of unpacking. And that years of unpacking is really just lacking. You're not going to see the same progress. I know some people will argue the opposite. I've been trying the other way and it's kind of working, but it takes a long fucking time.
And it's like, you got to have a little crazy. Like Stu said, you know, like he wasn't good at football because of innate talent. It's because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And like that's, and I you know, I make the same argument. Like I'm not a great jiu-jitsu player, but I've progressed pretty quickly. But I'm athletically pretty decent. Like there's never been a sport that I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Like if you give me a couple minutes, I'm going to figure it out and be decent at it. But also because I'm just stupid, so I'm willing to, like, I'm like not like die, but pretty close just to like beat someone.
Yeah, we talked about that with Shallow in the last podcast. I know we keep referring back to the last one, but it's just like go if you're gonna go lift whatever, we'll call it 600 pounds. Like everyone's deadlifting and stuff. If you're the dude that's gonna like get your shoulders back, get it all perfect, you're not gonna lift that weight. Like you have to. Like, you're gonna lift it like shit. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
some people can like, there's a few people I can see that I've seen personally like that have lifted perfectly at heavy weights, but like you're not that person.
It's like the only time it starts to look really good at heavy weights are guys who are stupid strong and stupid big, right? You watch like Hoffler or Brian Shaw or someone deadlift 900 plus pounds. It doesn't look crazy because they're just so big that if there is any inconsistencies, like there's just so much to take up the slack, you know?
And they're probably still fucked.
Oh, they're all fucked. I mean, they're way worse than it. I guarantee you they can't walk.
There's this picture of like, this is what perfect form looks like, blah, blah, blah. Like, see this big guy, he did that. I'm like, you go talk to that dude, he's fucked. I'm sorry,
Dude,
they're all fucked.
I mean, what, Eddie Cohen had double hip replacements.
Yeah.
Knees, I think he got replaced. Like
perfect form.
I mean, and he is the guy, right? And even his training, like he was the sub-max guy. He never did dumb stuff. I don't think he ever got injured in his career. Like, I don't think he had any major injuries or like while he was competing. But he still wore.
But like that's the logic is like this dude has fucking no hips and his shoulders are fucked. He can't even do this with his arm. Like they had that video of him, like he literally, his arm when he was lifting it overhead, he couldn't get it. It just went back at an angle. It's like, so you're gonna base, like, it's fine. You can base it off him. Like being strong is cool. Just don't say like this is the best, because like you're basically co-signing the fact that to do this, I'm gonna have no hips and my shoulders are gonna be fucked, which is fine. Like that's like you said, I would want that.
Yeah,
I would
take that
anymore,
trade.
But like,
I don't think I'd take that trade now because I just don't care. But like, definitely when I started lifting, and there's still like, I mean, there's no reason for me to be trying to get bigger. In fact, there's reasons for me not to be.
Yeah.
Mainly my wife is just like she's like, you look way better 20 pounds ago. but like still I'm like, but I don't know. It's just something to do. All right, so we got some more questions, but I don't think I can't post these up on here, right?
I think you just asked them. I don't think. Did anyone talk shit to you?
Well, someone talked shit to you. Gerard said, "Will Canada ever grow a pair of balls?" But I think with the way the U.S. is going, like,
yeah, like that's a fucking stupid argument.
We're gonna have like 300,000 people die in the next 2 months.
Like, and maybe this is like my limited experience, but like I met New Yorker people and they're all crazy and stuff. But like, I would say the Canadians, they all have balls. They just don't fucking need to tell everyone. Like they're all like super.
So I make fun of you guys all the time because everyone's like so nice and so friendly. But then I watch like a YouTube video of like 5-year-old kids on skates beating the dog shit out of each other, and the parents just being like, "Yeah."
Like hockey players are crazy. Like
I mean, literally, like if that would be like in America, if that happened, like, there's no way that anyone would allow that rink to open back up. Like people would be like, "There was children there fighting. Like we're gonna sue everyone."
We have 2 provinces, so like you provinces, not states, that are basically just farm. Like Alberta is where I live. It's like Texas, and Saskatchewan is just farmland. No one in the U.S. is going to go fuck with the farm boys because they're fucking crazy.
But that's our entire like wrestling. I mean, like Nebraska, Iowa, like all the dudes in the UFC, like those guys are all from those places and just grew up throwing hay.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Dude. By the way, so this is fucking close your drawer.
My wife's pajama drawer. She doesn't.
All right, so here we go. We got some like serious questions here. Like we got some questions about. I'll just ask these, and we'll make some serious ones, and then we'll get a couple ball busters. How do you help a client with lifestyle choices if your job is just to train them?
How do you what?
Help a client with lifestyle stuff if your job is just to train them.
Inception.
Yeah.
You want to explain
Inception? And I mean, I don't know too. Like if they don't ask me about that shit, like I don't really feel responsible.
Yeah, it's kind of like this is like the
nutrition is totally different because lifestyle and nutrition are intertwined. But I think if I'm just training them in the gym, a lot of it too is just making fun of them. Like when they be like, "Oh wow, I'm really tired today. I don't know why." I'm like, "I know why, because your Instagram, you were blowing rails in a bathroom at 4 a.m. Like maybe that's why you're tired."
Yeah, like I don't know. I like to use humor, but that's like my personality. But like you have to kind of softly break it to them. But my problem with like people who talk about like, I don't ever go into something saying I'm going to try to find their lifestyle habits and change them, because that's like that's a conundrum, or that's a continuum of that turns into, well, I'm going to fix their trauma. And like, I'm going to tell them the relationship with their husband is bad.
Right.
They shouldn't be drinking and all this stuff. It's like, then we become the gatekeepers on what a fucking perfect life is. Most trainers are fucking losers anyways. Like, for real.
Yeah. What's the like all that like stuff of like, get rid of like toxic people. It's like, sometimes toxic people are fun.
Well, and sometimes life, like, going to the bar and doing all these things, like being social, like the trainer, like, and I always make fun of the Chad trainer, but like the trainer who's given lifestyle advice is like fucking 25-year-old trainer who's like didn't go to college,
a virgin, never actually like been out of his apartment,
like, and works a job that is predominantly at night and in the mornings, and like doesn't really have that much of a social life. Like, if you don't have a social life, you can't be telling people about their lifestyle changes. Like, you need to experience some shit first so you can actually have a place of understanding and empathy, because you can kind of put yourself in someone's shoes, but it's a lot harder when you don't have a life.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, I get it. Like, if you're really passionate about this stuff, that's awesome. But like, I can't imagine my life if I had like not lived like from 18 to 25 or 28 or whatever. Like, these kids, and it's cool, man. Like, that's your thing. But like, you have no life experience, like you said. Like, you went to school for exercise. All you do is work out and slam protein shakes.
People aren't like that.
Like, yeah, they're cool. That's why I kind of love the hype crews, because those dudes all live it. They work hard, but like, they will go out and they will go out hard. Like, they don't give a fuck.
And we deal with, like, in our job, we deal with nutrition clients, generally people who we have to help with lifestyle stuff. But I just give them facts. And I allude to, there's no good or bad. Like, lifestyle isn't good or, like, that's what I mean. Like, fixing people's lifestyle.
It's not a moral thing.
They both fucking work. It's just like, here's what happens when you lift like me and eat fucking same food every day and like literally kind of crazy and don't go out. You look like me, but you also don't get to go out. You also have to eat the same food every day. You also have to work out all the time. And it's like, that's just the reality. It's not, that lifestyle isn't necessarily better. In some cases it's worse, because you can't do that if you have fucking 2 kids and you can't afford a trainer that much, and like, food's expensive. Like, I don't know. The whole understanding thing, I don't know. I just, that one's such a broad. That's a good question.
It is,
but it's riddled in nuance, and so.
Here's another one from Gerard that I like. Some of the other ones kind of I don't know that really fall in here, but like, what are your thoughts on clients weighing themselves daily? I mean, I think we probably have the same thought on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't care. I look at long-term trends. So there's 2 conundrums. There's the person that says like, oh, I weigh myself daily and like, it makes me fucking like super crazy. Those people, I'm like, well, I'm just using it. You don't need to do it, but I like it because it shows me trends. But like, it's not that important, because what's important is like, is this thing going down or is this thing going up? That daily weight really isn't like that helpful. Like, it is, but it isn't. But
yeah, like, my thoughts on it is like, like, of course, if it's someone who freaks out of the scale, it's like, okay, like, I used to take this tact of like, okay, well, we need to take away the power of the scale, but I don't really care that much. The bigger thing is like, if they don't weigh daily, it's like, okay, what happens if their weight spikes like 3 pounds, and then they freak out worse, right? And then it's a bigger thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, my way out of tracking for most people is like, weigh yourself daily, hit your protein.
Yeah, because then
like, you don't. You then, if you're like putting weight on, okay, well then you need to change something and cut back. Or if you're losing weight,
I'm doing that right now.
That's how I live. Yeah, like when I'm not like trying to track. Actually, I'm even cutting right now, and that's really all I do.
I try to reframe it. Like, I know that's a super guru thing to do, but like, I always reframe it as like, all it is like a learning opportunity. Because like, you don't learn that your weight spikes when you eat pizza and smash a Diet Coke, like a liter Diet Coke. You don't see that your weight spikes if you don't measure it. And then, so like, you're like, oh, when I do this happens. Oh, there's no way I gain 3 pounds of fat by fucking going to Pizza Hut.
Right.
But you can gain 3 pounds. It's just not going to be. But if you don't weigh it every day, like you said, you don't know what's what, and then you aren't free from tracking. Is almost just information coming in, so that you can then eventually.
Once you build that awareness of like what's in food, like
you have to build the database.
But like, so like I have this conversation a lot right now because it's summer and people are starting to go, even if it's not regular vacation, they're going away for a week, right? They're going away for the beach or whatever it is, and it's like they're like, what should I do? And I'm like, well, you could track if you are, you know, if we're getting ready for a bodybuilding show or we're getting for a photo shoot, guess what? You don't get to enjoy your vacation. You're going to be eating like, you know, shrimp and chicken breast and tilapia and like that's life. But you're 99.9999% of people I'm working with are not in that boat. So like, I'm like, okay, well, if you want to track, cool. If you don't, but like my big thing with the scale is like, I always say like, before I go on that trip is like, what is your return? Like, what is your say? Like, okay, I'm willing to trade off this. And if it's 3 pounds or if it's 5 pounds, like that's cool. Like, because then you set up like this expectation of like, hey, it's just water. It's going to come off. And then you come back. And when these people like put on this 3 pounds over the week and they're like, okay, I was okay with that. So I'm not depressed about it. And then they come off and like in 2 days, that water weight comes off. All of a sudden they're like, holy shit. You mean like having 1 week off isn't going to ruin my life? Like that's even more empowering, I think.
Yeah, because you kind of build the database. It also, from a coaching aspect, like if you tell them that, you sound like you're fucking Jesus.
Well, yeah, right. There's that. Yeah, when they're
like, how do you know that? It's like, well, because everyone who does that does the same fucking thing. They drink, they eat out a few times, and like they don't eat as much and they walk more. It's like, well, you didn't really do that much. Like, there's maybe the outlier who like literally packs away 3 buffets while they go to fucking Texas for a week. But like, that's
like people that like just drink from sun up to sundown, which I think most people when they're trying to change their eating habits won't really fall into that. But some people do. I mean, that's how I used to vacation. I mean,
but then they gain more weight and then they lose more weight. Like I've done that.
Yeah.
Like I went, you go to Mexico and like you're like, holy, you go shredded
like
and then you
open
come out
bar
like
or whatever.
Balloon, and then you
or you go in shredded and like you've been eating like 200 grams of carbs a day, and all of a sudden you're eating like 500 grams of carbs. You just swell up and you're like,
you look huge. It's
I love that with my clients, just like deplete them before they go in. I'm like, yeah, I was like, just like eat like 8 tacos and go in the sun. And they're like, dude, I'm like shredded. They look huge. Like my veins are all popping out.
Do you remember kefir, like the carb backloading?
Yeah.
Like, so we don't need to argue on like whether he's correct or not, but like he's basically just intermittent fasting, that whatever. But he had this one
a lot of money
for vacations where he like would basically overtrain them, deplete them of their carbs for like a week and a half, and then every time on vacation, so every day on vacation, they wouldn't eat anything till 2 or 3, and then they could eat whatever they want, and they could only have straight alcohol and whatever drinks. They could just have vodka, no beers. And like you would come back and like you wouldn't like gain weight, but you could still fucking eat like a king and just get smashed. Because at 2, if you can last till 2, then you can just drink all night. He's like, doesn't matter. Anyways, I haven't done that recently, but like back in the day, like I would get my friends to do it and it fucking works, but it's just hilarious because you can game it, but then it's like, that's so much work.
So I have this like huge, this group of guys that are like twice a year, my clients, and they just, all we do is we usually do a little bulk in the winter. They take them 2 months off, and then we do a cut in the spring into summer, and they're all gay guys. And so here in New York, there's this place called Fire Island, and it's like the gay, like rich gay, like party. It's literally an island. So there's a couple different places, but Fire Island Pines in particular is like mid-20s to mid-30s, so maybe early 40s, like gay guys who have money, and they rent these houses. And when I'm talking about, like, I've been out there, and it's like for like a 1-bedroom place, it's like $500 a night, right? So like these houses are like, you know, $12,000 a week. They do summer shares, but all these dudes, like, they're like the whole time they're gone, I get their like sheets when they come back, and it's like I had 4 chicken breasts, 2 protein shakes, and 22 vodkas each day. Like, but they all come back like and they like, and I'm like, I'm not advising this. This is not what I'm telling you to do. But and they all stay in check because they know that like they go every because they all have summer shares. They go like once a month or like once every 2 weeks. So they can't just fall apart in the summer. They
what is that?
Like
it's protein and calories.
It's protein and calories, right? And so they hold it together. But like all these dudes, they know because like you talk about pressure, like I can, like, when I'm ripped and shredded, like, I can walk into a room of straight guys, and I'm like, oh, I can hold my own. You walk into a room of these dudes, and you're like, I am a fucking toad. Like these dudes are all ripped. They're all like super good looking. They all have tons of money. You're like, man, this is competition. Like you think as a straight guy, it's competition going to a bar. You've never
like they
seen
can't
it.
like they have it way worse. Like it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like actually, do you even lift? And like if
Right.
you don't lift, you're not getting laid.
Or well, maybe unless you just gotta go with the
Yeah,
different
that's
crowd. But like these dudes are all like they want to be pretty ripped, like
Yeah.
look super good, be like conditioned, and so yeah. But like that's the best they do. They just slam like protein shakes and vodka like all day.
Fire Island. We need like what's a straight version of Fire Island?
There's not one because girls aren't just gonna like sleep with guys because they look.
Oh
good
yeah,
and
because like
have
it
money.
wouldn't actually work. A bunch of straight
Yeah.
dudes. That would basically be Muscle Beach.
Yeah, it would be a bunch of straight dudes sitting around like drinking protein shakes and be like, "Why are we not getting laid?" Be like, "Because the
Because
girls."
you went with a bunch of
Because the girls are over there with the dude who's like chubby and like just enjoying himself.
fuck. Like you're telling me that like lifting doesn't do this? Fire. I actually learned. I always learn something new with you. Like Fire Island actually sounds like it'd be like I'm married. I think that'd be fucking fun. Gay guys are hilarious.
So we went and stayed in Cherry Grove, which is like a little bit older, kind of hippier, but like we always laugh. My wife's like, she's like, normally we go somewhere, especially at the beach, like dudes are kind of checking her out, whatever. She's like, everyone just ignores her when we're there. It's like they just like look at me and they're like and it's like from top to the bottom. It's like from the head down to the toes, and like they slowly bring their eyes up, and I'm like, I feel like a piece of meat, and I really like it.
Same thing. There's a place called Nielsen Beach. It's in Kelowna. Anyways, it's like the houseboat central. All the houseboats go and like the shoe shop.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like bachelorette parties. But they all go to this one fucking beach, and just like I want to say kilometers of beach, and they all line up, and there's all these parties. And it's like fucking chaos. It would basically be. It's like Fire Island if it was like on an actual island with boats and no houses. But anyways, the one year we went, we called it the gay boat. But these gay guys basically put on this houseboat party, had a fucking full DJ. There was like hundreds of people on this thing. That there's like 16 people, right? It's like sleep 16 people. There's like 200 people. Like the floor is actually bouncing. Best party ever. Like I'm married. Like there's a few straight guys. So it was there's probably a lot, but like all the gay guys protect all the women. So like I could just get so blasted. It was the best party ever. And like you're dancing, you're like, man, like this is gay people know how to party.
Oh yeah. Like that was the funniest thing when I came home from college, because all my friends from high school they were kind of like homophobic, and I was in musical theater, so like for me it was never a big thing. And I came back and they're like, hey, we're gonna go to this bar tonight. And I was like, they're telling me the place. I'm like, you guys know that's a gay bar, right? Like, oh yeah, it's great. Like dudes are just like super cool. Like the chicks will all talk to you. I was like, okay, cool. But I was like, this like everything changed, especially because I went away. This was in the '90s, so like that was still like a kind of taboo thing. But in New York, it's always been like all the clubs are now they're gay clubs. They are. But all right, so we've got here. There's one serious question. Christian asking if we're gonna have kids, and I'm not having kids, so that's done.
That's the beautiful question. Jeez.
What's that? He's like, are you guys gonna have kids? The world needs more Dean and Jeb. Like, the world definitely does not need more me. I promise you that.
I don't even think it's for me.
And here we got one from Quadzilla.
Like fuck
Stu. Dumbest thing you did to get jacked.
That's actually a good question. That's hard. Fuck. Because everything I did in powerlifting was dumb. So there's that. The thing I did as a kid, I'm thinking like as I'm a kid. I don't know.
Not as a kid, just in general.
So actually, this is a good one. So like the first time I ever deadlifted, this is actually like a real story. Like we have this football. I was playing junior football, but in our locker room we had a gym. There was like a bunch of hammer strength equipment, a bunch of free weights, a deadlift platform, and a bench press. So it was like stupid, right? Like let's just put 225 on and bench. Fuck you, I can bench more than you. So there was no actual lifting program, but we did do training sessions every once in a while in the summer, and we're deadlifting. And the thing to do with deadlifting at that point, because I didn't know anything about deadlifting, no one did, was like you do gorilla grip, which is just double overhand, and sumo. Because in its gorilla stance, I don't know how that makes sense because they're not like sumo lift anyways, because we're not lifters. And then you would use straps and you deadlift. So I did like 405 first time deadlifting. That's my claim to fame. But after every deadlift, you do fucking shrugs. because like you got to get your neck jacked. So you do like deadlift, shrug, and like literally we're just all morons. But
but like, okay, have you ever seen like the bodybuilder deadlift? Like, so like bodybuilders like approach deadlifting different. So yeah, they come back and they shrug up. I mean, it's not all, like, and you're probably not doing it with 405, especially your first time deadlifting, but like,
we're just dumb. Like it was just like, and then like at the end you do like again, there was just no, I think it's dumb because there's no purpose, but at the end you do like a rep out fucking shrugs and we're like, yeah, get it. But like the same thing though, everyone was pretty jacked. Right? And like we all got jacked, but like doing stupid shit is getting jacked because like you don't do that if you're risk adverse.
Yeah, and you're like a kid, like getting after it, right? And like thinking like, hey man, I mean, look at all those videos of like high school or even some of the college weight rooms, right? The fucking squats look like shit, but dude, they are hyped and everyone's fucking pushing it, and like, I don't know, man, like that builds character, it builds your fucking team, like that's I don't know, like I would say like when I was, because I played football in high school, I mean I didn't really live, I went on a lifting program or anything, so I mean I didn't do the dumb shit I did in high school was like I was just crazy, you know, like I probably gave myself a concussion at least once, like headbutting someone's helmet with my helmet off, like I would just be bleeding every game. My mom was like, "Are you on drugs?" Because I would come out like I would just fucking start yelling at people on the sideline when they're fucking not amped up. Like I was just fucking screaming and spitting. All I cared about was like my goal was like back then we didn't really know about concussions, so like the rule is first half, because I was a corner. So the rule was first half you go for the hit, second half you go for the interception because you want to intimidate them. But like I was like here to here, like that was my goal, is to put this part of my helmet in someone's ear hole every fucking time and like try to knock them unconscious. Like that was the goal. I didn't realize that we were all fucking each other up for life.
It was so much better back then. Like we kind of missed that era of like you probably were allowed to do head-to-head contact. We were taught essentially put the top of your helmet in their fucking chest, just like a missile. And then it was like, we're gonna make it safer. Like we'll make it safer. Your face mask into their chest.
Right.
Like
your neck extended.
And then at the end of my career was like you put your head to their shoulder. Like so you go to, it's like a rugby tackle.
Yeah.
Like
no, like
what happens when you put your head to their chest? You inevitably hit their fucking head. Like it's so stupid.
You hit their chin, right?
Yeah.
And then like I mean I remember we just called them stingers. Yeah. When you would lose all feeling from your head to your like finger or your like toes.
I was lucky.
Never got one?
No.
Dude, I got a bad concussion returning a kick. Bad. Like I turned one way and like apparently no one decided to block. And then I turned back around and just got mobbed by a guy.
I still have fucked up. Like I had that happen. Like I knew this was bad. I still played because I was dry heaving after that hit. But I couldn't put like you do hand signals for football. Like we would do like zone and man, and they would do that after I got fucking rocked. I'm seeing stars and they're like doing these hand signals. I was like, I don't get what you're saying. And I was like, just fucking say it. And they're like, why? It's fucking this. I'm like, just fucking say it. And so they had to literally, I could auditory hear it and process it. I couldn't do the hand signals for like literally a whole quarter. And I was like, this is fucked. Why am I not pulling myself? So I asked the trainer, and the trainer was like, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of like dry heaving. I feel like I want to puke. They're like, yeah, but you're not. So like, you're probably good. I'm like, sure. Like, I don't want to get pulled. Fuck that. Not good. So anyways.
Yeah, that wasn't like getting jacked, but that was just to play. But like that was the thing too, is like you would just cover it up because you didn't want to get pulled. You're like, I don't want to leave the game, so whatever's going wrong, I'm fine. Like I don't know, and like strongman, I mean, I would pass out all the time or get nosebleeds and shit, but everyone else did too, so that just seemed pretty normal.
It's more the looking back how stupid it is. Like I remember, it was like I would deadlift the weight no matter how it looked. I'm like, I don't care. Like, you know, those like videos of like the dude with the rounded back. Like, I think I showed you a video. Like, I basically have that.
Was that your like first? That was like early. That was like 400 pounds.
That was like
right?
650. Well, it depends which one.
The high school, like a high school, maybe it was college, maybe it was early college. You were small.
That one was 550. But like either way, it was like this thing's coming up. Like I didn't care. Like and I knew that because it was looking like that after 400. But it was like, well, I'm going to lift the most here, obviously.
Yeah.
And I did.
And until you get hurt, you don't care.
No.
And then you get hurt, and you probably get hurt a couple more times and not care. But like, my friends who were legit, like, who were pulling like 700, at under 175, like, get hurt a lot, and then just go back and lift. Like, they're just more resilient. Like, something about it is like, or they don't care.
That was another thing. Like, even like working through injuries, I think that's one thing you like, and maybe that's just how. And we talked about this with Stu and Jordan. But like when you play like sports, like that is the name of the game. Because like in lifting, you can kind of take time off and no one really cares. You get hurt and you get pulled, like you lose. You don't necessarily lose your scholarship, but like you might the next year. Like fuck that.
And
but like that's applied to lifting.
Scholarship, you lose your spot.
Yeah, like which is even
you
worse.
You have to
like,
fight to get it back.
Which is even worse. Like I don't think I've stressed out of anything other than like either getting pulled or getting hurt. Because like fuck, like you basically you give someone else an opportunity to do good, and like you never want to do that. We're all friends.
No.
Like fuck you. Like
no. Yeah, no.
Because
like,
everyone's pretty good at those levels. Like they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
They can go in and get lucky and get a pick, and it's like, well, I'm done. Like fuck.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? It can be luck. Like it can just be luck. And like I know I've gotten picks because of lucky. Because like the ball like hit a weird way, and just like I remember one was like this guy went to catch it and the ball kind of rolled up and it was literally just spinning on his shoulder, and I was like, and just took it off his shoulder and ran the other way.
You're just like giving him the double bicep.
Like, what is this? Okay, cool. See ya.
What other questions we got? This is actually.
I mean, everyone else is kind of serious, right? Like it was all like, let's see. I
anticipate us having more questions. Like everyone's like, "You guys suck. You have no questions." You know what? We just started this thing, and like, we're ranked.
We had enough questions. We had enough questions. Basically, the point is,
do we even have time to do meme? Well, let's just do one meme.
Let's do a meme.
Let's do a meme. What's it showing up as right now? Anything?
It's not showing up at all.
Okay, good. Oh, there it is. Actually, I wanted this one.
This one is good.
So,
like, I didn't even see the cardio one. Like the top thing I've seen about is the cardio. It's so good.
So like the reason why I came up with this, and like no one's even gonna make it this far, so I don't care. But it's gonna be, we probably could do our own segment, like a 20-minute segment on this. But it's like I always see these memes and we send them to each other, or I'll send them to Stu, or I'll send them to whoever, and like they're so funny. Like I knew we could tag them, so it's like. Like the reason why this is funny is because this is the same thing as the leg argument. It's like no one cares about our lower body or cardio if you lift, and that's kind of like that whole. Do you even lift? It's like, yeah, this is the people who lift, or these people, the upper body, for sure.
But the best part about this is like just take away all the things. Like this poor child is fucking drowning.
And someone's in the water
taking a picture. Like, and mom doesn't care. She's like, I don't love you. Like this,
and this looks like
around the table at Christmas in 20 years.
This looks like an older picture because like maybe I'm wrong, but like it looks like Miami. There's like palm trees, maybe LA, and there's like this old fucking creepy van in the background. There's some creepy dude in the pool taking pictures of kids. And like he like to take a picture in a pool, you're out of place because like you're in a bathing suit. People don't take cameras in pools. And this dude's like taking a picture.
This was one of those cameras that you would buy, the disposable ones with that you could take underwater. I bet.
Yeah, and like the dude is doing that. Definitely has like those creepy glasses on. Like,
and he drives that van.
Like he drives the van for sure.
And
like
Karen here, like this is Karen. Like look at that hair.
there's like Karen Jr.
She got pissed about her reflective.
Chad's just getting fucked, and then Chad's dad's cardio. But it's actually hilarious because like I don't know, like my pre-workout gets my heart rate up. Is that good enough, right? I think there's this whole conundrum, and we could bring someone on for this talk about like how cardio kills gains. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like that's actually the dumb thing I didn't do. Like the dumbest thing I did was not kind of I didn't get bigger, like big, until I had some form of actual conditioning.
Yeah.
And I could actually lift fucking weights.
Probably in good condition in college, right?
Yeah. But afterwards, it was like when I was actually trying to get bigger, like trying like an idiot. I couldn't lift the volume I needed to till I had the base level, even cardio, like call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
But a little bit of cardio will go a long way, because doing no cardio, you're just a fat piece of shit.
I will say that is the one good thing about strongman is that it was always like
they're in
inherent.
shape.
Like
dude.
you have to do medleys. Like you gotta do like, you know, you're gonna do sled drags, sled pulls. Like even the dudes who are huge, like they're you know, they're doing some walking for sure, and then they're doing, you know, some kind of like medleys. Like you have to do medleys, or doing stones. I mean, if you do a stone series, you're fucking crushed.
Strongmen are a good example because they have to for their sport, and they're fucking all jacked. Like again,
Yeah.
but they lift heavy and they eat a lot. But like I don't know, you're in that world more. They still do like cardio. Like
Yeah, I mean, like
anaerobic work probably.
Yeah, I mean, more of the dudes are more jacked now because they're realizing that, like, until you're like super heavyweight, when you're like 400 plus, but like there's only 5 guys that make money, right? So like, you know, like, you can't use them as an example. But you look at the 231s or the 200 pounders. When you look at 200 pounders, I mean, they're just dudes are huge, so strong, and totally jacked because carrying extra weight doesn't help you.
We should just do 2 today. I sent this one. I don't even know where I saw it, the meme.
Oh,
like, so this is funny. So basically, for anyone listening, there's a large wolf with 1,000 arrows in his back, damn near, and it says "Bro is training for leg hypertrophy," basically alluding to the fact that we'll do anything to lift legs. Like we'll do dumb shit and puke, and like pain is not part of the equation. It's like the pain is irrelevant. Then there's this little wolf cub with like a little arrow in it, and it's like women complaining about suffering for trying to fit society's beauty standards. Totally asshole thing to say, but it's still funny because like basically gym bros think that their fucking life is real difficult when they're pushing for the
I got to tell you, like I mean, I don't know what society standards are for having quads, but I do not fit them, and I want to.
This is the only problem with these memes is like this one's an asshole meme, but it's still funny. So it's like
it's still funny.
I laugh at it. I'm an asshole, but like you could replace men complaining about suffering when trying to fit into society's standards. I should have just changed that. Damn it, I didn't make this.
That would have been too easy.
This one's good. This is Dr. Spencer Nadolsky fucking meme.
Doctor in quotes.
Did you actually see his new video? His new video is him talking about his abs, like, and then he's like shitting on a toilet. He like,
I really hope hair salons open in San Diego soon because his hair is really long and it weirds me out.
Yeah, like he looks funny like that. Like he needs to.
He looks like a meme.
Yeah.
Now he's doing SpongeBob things. Spencer's we've been friends with Spencer for many years.
Yeah,
he's a ridiculous human.
But this is funny because before keto and after, basically everyone who's taking keto as a magic pill, they literally all like if they do it long enough or like they do it hard, they end up just losing all this water and all this weight, and they kind of look like those people that do endless cardio in like
every bodybuilder. Like
but like in sunshine states where they like are really tanned and they look really bad.
Just any like look at anyone contest prep, man. When they're like they don't have their whole spray, like they all look like they've got like fucking like acne and like their face is all they look like shit. Like their face looks like shit. Their bodies look incredible. Their face is like shit. And like they look like Skeletor, but they're like death fit. It literally looks like that. Like you look at it like if Michael Jackson was like 240. Solid muscle at like 5'6", like he would look like a pro bodybuilder right there.
Yeah. Well, and there's this show called Alone, but basically they starve themselves. We'll be done. But they starve themselves. Like it's like, can they survive on this piece of land? There's like a bunch of contestants, but they just have like a survival equipment. But anyways, long story short, they don't eat much unless they hunt, and like they just get smaller and smaller and more sunken in. And there's this one guy on the camera. He's like, "Damn, I got like the fucking eye wrinkles and the cheek wrinkles," and he just looks like that Michael Jackson pic. Just starving, like eat and drink some water. Like they're all dehydrated. It's like that's like it's funny because like I guess it's just a crack. He just cracks at diets and like keto.
He loves to make fun of
But it's like, my diet's better than your diet. It's like, well, like, sort of, but like, you look like shit. So
yeah,
shut the fuck up.
and my diet doesn't have a name, so that makes it better.
Yeah, what I don't even know what to call my diet anymore.
The Guidogenic diet. That's the call yours.
Yeah, the Guidogenic diet. I don't know. I feel like
Pretty huge.
I feel like I need to eat more vegetables, but I'm almost like, I'm on this like weird understanding that I think like my body, like the way I grew up and I ate fucking cereal and shit, I think I get enough micronutrients. I don't need to eat more vegetables. I'm still healthy because
That's the argument all the carnivore guys have, right? Like you just need enough meat.
That's true. I don't eat a lot of meat though. I do. I think we both did the same thing. I have a lot of Fairlife milk.
Yeah, and I've been using protein shakes again. I was off protein shakes for like a year, and that sucked. It was just so hard. But now I'm back to eating shakes, have a smoothie, and it makes life easy.
None of our clients can listen to this.
No.
I don't actually tell my clients my diet.
No, but I tell my clients my diet. I'm like, hey, if you want to bulk up to like 210, like, you're a 130-pound woman. If you want to be 210, like, eat like me. If you don't, you probably should. Yeah, you gotta live. I mean, no, you'll be 210. I just don't know. It might not be muscle, but you'll get to 210.
Okay, how do we wrap? So I don't know. I'm actually cool doing this. We just need to create content. So it's like at some point we'll put another one-up question. So if you're like anyone listening, either probably our friends at this point, but if you do have questions, you can definitely post them.
And we'll roast them.
I wouldn't roast you. I would actually prefer people roast us because it's actually all the things that people roast me about are actual like topics that of interest that can be narrated into the purpose of this podcast, because
could potentially become a meme.
Yeah, like I all the memes have a starting place somewhere in I don't want to in subjective truth, but still someone's truth, and probably enough people's truth because a lot of people like it because they know it's fucking true to them. Even if it's like not, you know what I mean? Like that's the politically way of saying it. It's people's truth. It's a large portion of people's truth.
It's there.
And so that's why they're funny. I shouldn't laugh at women's beauty standards, but it's like, wow, like that was funny.
It's funny because the guys that think they're suffering so much to fucking do some leg extensions, and nobody cares because they wear pants.
Well, I think like that's the inverse. I think we're talking about memes and stuff. It's like they're kind of funny when you actually take a step back, and the people who are liking it are probably like, yeah, brother, like tell them.
I just love that poor fucking kid is drowning in that pool and someone's taking a picture. Like that kid is traumatized to this day.
Imagine being that kid and like growing up and like seeing, because it's been used for like things that aren't weightlifting, and like seeing your face on a meme, but like having that creepy memory of the dude in the van and be like, man, like you guys don't even know who took that picture. But he does, and he's terrified. And
he's like, he's gonna live on, reminders of candy and meth in a van.
Yeah, and his
it gets dark quick in this show. Like this show, we get dark.
Well, his mom didn't give a fuck. Like,
nope. She was in it for the meth.
Yeah. Well, no, because she cared about her other child. Like that's kind of
but she also was getting meth from the dude in the van. So
that's true. Like they were definitely hitchhiking. Like don't definitely with your two kids with the dude that's gonna go to a motel with a fucking shitty pool.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird
with the camera. Like if a dude pulls out a camera that's waterproof, like run.
Yeah. It's not going to end well.
Cameras in pools, like that's weird. No. Like if you bring a GoPro, like that's politically correct because it's like that fucking asshole is like trying to make it like a outdoor video.
Yeah,
like, he's gonna post it, no one's gonna see it. He's gonna try to make this super montage of like his trip, but no one actually cares. That's what that market is.
Yeah, and this back then it was a slideshow though.
Yeah, fucking slideshow. Okay, okay, let's end this. Hopefully no one. I want to know how many people we lost. Actually. I don't know. How do you call this thing out?
How do you say, like, anyone who made it to the end, make a comment.
Yeah, if you didn't, it's coming on anyways. Like it's at this point where like I don't care. I'm creating content. We're gonna put up sweet podcasts. This is life now. Yeah, peace.
That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail.
You can't stop me.
I'm going to win.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
I won't quit. I'll just keep getting stronger.
Stronger?
Stronger. Stronger.